Okay, good evening all. As you can see, I have a picture of Robin Williams up on the screen, and I was going to check in to see where his consciousness is now. It's been a little bit of time since his passing in such a shocking, tragic way. And, you know, with this psychic opening and this connection with the pendulum and these, kind of channeling readings, energy readings, this has just been taking place, at least to this degree here, for probably about 3 years or so, a little bit more. And these are two. Chris Cornell, I will put up a reading of his which turned out really lovely, and I wish that I could have done Chris Cornell or Robin Williams when it, right after their passing, but it just wasn't happening then. So I'm going to go ahead and do it now just to see where things are at. If anything with these readings, there's always something that comes from them of interest, as well as to show that consciousness does continue to go forward, and to bring some hope, that freedom. With Chris Cornell's, it was just such a beautiful, beautiful reading, really. So light, so loving, really, and maybe it's good that that reading was done now, because it has been a while. I mean, compared to the other recent suicides, much heavier feeling, but it shows that things change and continue to change, and people continue to grow and evolve, and things get diluted out, really. So let's go ahead and see what's happening with Robin Williams, shall we? Okay, so as I come up to him, the pendulum gets very heavy feeling for such a light pendulum, and you can see, and this is what happened before, you can see how it is repelling or kind of coming forward. You can feel a bit of a buffer around him. Okay, and so that's just showing that his form has passed in the way that the pendulum lays down. And okay, so he's he is a man that gave smiles. He gave happiness. He inside not happy most of time with whatever was happening there. But the purpose isn't as much to go through his life now, but really these things flow, so we're just going to let them flow as they do. And now there's a pull going in the other direction, more towards him, more towards this image now. Okay, so you can see there's kind of in his heart, there's kind of a feeling like no, okay, no, not real open, okay, not a real open person in his soul spirit. Okay. So he's writing. This is what I felt before when I put the pendulum up there. He's writing. He's writing things. Writing things now. Yeah, he's writing. He's writing is the best I can do, and this is what exact same thing that happened before. Writing his story in a way, continually in his mind. That's what that means. Okay, so he's continuing to go over his story of his life in his mind. Yes, this is what's happening with Robin Williams still. Going over his story, what happened. He's trying to take stock of it in a way. What happened? Why did that happen that way? What was that all about? And he's struggling with that. He's struggling with trying to make sense of it all, and kind of retrace his steps, to almost go back into that doorway where he lived, and feel it again in a way to understand it. This is what's happening with Robin Williams, right? You know, in this point in his consciousness. So he hasn't really understood really where he's at in himself. Like, is he still that person, or is he gone? Is he here? Is he there? And so he still has he's a creative spirit. So, you know, in terms of that writing coming, and it could just be within his thoughts. He's still just working at that. He's pretty much head down, relentless on this thing, with his going back over his life, his days, his world, who he was, what he is now. And let's see if this is helping him. Okay, so it's just, you know, it's a good time for him, and hopefully he'll let go more. So it is helping him a little bit to get some clarity, to take stock before he's really able to move forward. So not a bad thing for him, it looks like, terribly. Rather ruminating a lot on it, though. Okay. So it's very light right now, kind of floating like a bubble, which is nice, which sounds a lot like what he may be doing, kind of just floating around, okay, in this space of not really going way forward, not going back, but floating around with these circular thoughts. Okay, you can see this. It's very floaty. I mean, it's very different feeling than possibly one in body, because it's, you know, more in the ethers and things, that you can really feel it being very floaty. I just feel him more like a bubble, just in there with his head down, like someone would be at a typewriter constantly typing, like he's constantly thinking that way. Yeah, again, not bad. I mean, it gives him some, you know, until he can get a bit of a handle on what happened, what he's about, who he is, where he's going, then possibly he can begin to let go. This just hasn't happened yet for him. Okay, he's not in a bad space. It's just a very self-absorbed space. It's a very, he's consumed still with his, what he's, you know, what happened to him, who he is, and these things. But I don't feel it to be a horrid thing. It's just an all-consuming thing. I can't say that he's really free or really, he just hasn't let go. He just hasn't let go, that's all. Okay, and this happens, you know, time, that's all. Okay, trying not to do a lot of tapping. So someone said that was annoying. Okay, I can't help it when the pendulum does that, but I could see how someone would think that, for sure. Okay, so I do see kind of like an etch-a-sketch in there. Like I said, that writing comes, you know, he does, hopefully he'll work on erasing that, clearing out some of this stuff so he can go on and let go. But he is an intense person. He's an intense man in there. Wow. Okay. And let's see if there's anything else. Not really. And we just hope for the best with Robin Williams, and just grateful for his time here. In body, he definitely gave a lot of good smiles, so we hope he can find laughter and lightness as well. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.